a young man in Bnei Brak who wandered away a little bit from his family's way, sadly. Rahman al-Islan, and he left home completely and stopped keeping Shabbos, stopped eating kosher, and eventually he got engaged to a girl who wasn't even Jewish. Didn't tell his parents, no engagement party, of course, but somebody close to him said, "You're getting married in a month. Now go to your parents and tell them, at least part from them with decency, with dignity. They're your parents, they brought you to the world." So he said, okay. He called his parents and said, "Can I come for Shabbos?" And they said, "Sure." But no conversations, not changing my mind. But he came, didn't really spend much time at the meal. Of course, he didn't go to shul. He spent most of Shabbos smoking on the porch. Before Mincha on Shabbos afternoon, his father says, "I'm going to a shiur from the Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Steinman, would you like to join me?" He said, "Sure, I'll come." Surprisingly, and he came. The shiur in the Rosh Yeshiva's house, not a big crowd. And after the shiur, everybody passed by to say good Shabbos, including him. As he extends his hand to Rabbi Leib, he says, "The Rosh Yeshiva know that I don't keep Shabbos." Rabbi Leib says, "How long is it since you've kept Shabbos?" He said, 2 years. Rabbi Leib said, "In those 2 years, were there ever moments where you had reflection or introspection, a hira, a tshuva, a thought that maybe you should be doing it a better way?" He said, "Yeah." Rabbi Leib said, "Like how many times?" He said, 4 times that I could remember I had those thoughts. He said, "And about how long did those thoughts last?" He said, "About 10 minutes each time." Rabbi Leib took his hand, he said, 40 minutes. 40 minutes of a yid who was in a place that tzaddikim gemurim can't reach. A place of a Baal Tshuva. You had a real hira tshuva, genuine, sincere hira tshuva. 40 minutes of that, it's an honor to say good Shabbos to you. Of course, Rabbi Leib's words landed like a hammer blow in this person's heart, and he went home. 40 minutes, you were a Baal Tshuva in such a place. That was the beginning. That opened the door back home to him. The engagement fell away. That lifestyle fell away, and eventually he came back. Later, his father asked him, "How come you came to a Steinman shiur with me?" That was so unexpected. So he said, "I'll tell you the truth, when I was a boy, a little boy in Cheder, my whole class went to Bar and Leib Steinman for a test for a bechina. And I was very weak. I was a weak student. And he asked fairly easy questions to everybody. And he asked me an easy question too, but I didn't know the answer. So he asked me an easier question, and I still didn't know the answer. So he asked me a third question that was extremely simple, and I didn't know, I didn't care that I didn't answer him. When the test was over, Rabbi Leib gave every boy a candy, but he didn't give me a candy. He asked me to please stay behind. And everybody was filed out of the room, and the door closed. It was just me and him. Rabbi Leib said, "Mein Kind, my child, in Yiddishkeit, the reward is not given for the accomplishment. That's not what you do. In Yiddishkeit, we recognize how hard you try. They only answered one question. They tried once. You tried 3 times. You had 3 questions you had to strain for and stress for and think about and push yourself. So I'm giving you 3 candies." When you mentioned that you're going to have Steinman shiur, I said, somebody who appreciates the hard work, not the accomplishment, that's a shiur I want to go to. We have to learn to give ourselves candies, not for the accomplishments, but for the work, for the exertion, for the effort, for the toil. Because in Shemayim, that's what they give candies for. That's what they celebrate, our hard work.